because there's no here and nowness about it. Name one. Name one. I mean, well, it's groovy. We're all here together. We're good guys. But what about them? What about them? Them is a take of your head, of course. You already know that. In fact, everything I've said tonight you already know. You didn't have to come here and pay $2 to hear me say all that. You know all this stuff. That's what's so funny about it. I mean, what nonsense. What a hustle. What a hustle. You dig that? You know it all already. That's what calming one's mind is about. That's what meditation is for. To cool you out so you remember. So you see how it all is. I mean, try sitting around when you're full of self-pity. You sit down in front of your puja table and you take a look at a picture of Meher Baba, and he's smiling at you like he's one of the fifth Marx Brothers, and he's saying, you know, let me help you. Right? Oh, I wish you would, Meher Baba. It's so hard. And here's Hanuman, and he's winking his head back and forth, saying, let me serve you. Oh, please do. It's such a burden. And I just sit there being so burdened. Oh, am I burdened? Oh, it's so bad. Oh. How long do you suppose I sit there before I take a take? Vector view, take one. Wow, dig that self-pity. Isn't that exquisite? Full bloom. What an extraordinary color. It must be a new breed of self-pity. A particularly fragrant variety. I really want to just sit and smell that one for ever so long. It's such a good one. Such a good one. Self-pity. I mean, Meher Baba, I wish I had time to groove with you, but I've got to get on with it. I have important things to do today. All right, I'll sit with you a minute. I mean, that's really, you know, okay. Here we are. You got a minute. Do your thing. 40 seconds left. Wow. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you know it all yourself, why do you forget it? Why do I forget it? I forget it too. I get up here on big ego. I got to impress them. I got to teach them. I've got to lead. I've got to help show the light. I've got to do my thing. Ego, 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 ego. Achieve, perform. Fame, success, power. Fame, success, power. Achieve, make it. Ooh. Wow. You're doing it and suddenly there's a take. God, look at that. Wow. You got to be quiet inside to do that kind of photography. It's very easy to photograph, you know, inanimate objects like other people. turn that lens right in on the very stuff that you're hiding in and shoot the camera this way. Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So all I can do all the time is cool myself out. That's all I'm doing. I do nothing but sadhana. Somebody says, what do you do for a living, man? I do sadhana. But you lecture. I do sadhana. But don't you lecture? Sure. Lecturing happens and I'm doing my sadhana. I mean, this trip is helping me get free of my ego. Because if I get free of my ego, we all get free of our ego. Because that's the way the trip works. You get free of your ego, we all get free of our ego. Because we're all the same being, and that's the problem. We can move as fast as we can move. You can hear this message as pure as I am. That's the way it boils down. Because I can resonate with the highest place in you that I am. That's the way that works. So I can do nothing but for you but work on myself. You can do nothing but for me but work on yourself. You can do nothing but for your child but work on yourself. Oh, I'm going to do good things for my child. Baloney. That's all ego. Just work on yourself. And every time you work on yourself, you get calmer, you hear more, you sense more, you are more, you're more present. And your child, what are you offering the child? Not a set of social roles and passing in the night. You're offering the child here and nowness. The treasure of consciousness, the treasure of awareness. If you don't help the other beings cut through the illusion because you're through the illusion, what else? What is there? What are you doing? Doing more dance within the dance, within the dance, within the dance? Are we always going to meet on the stage? Don't we ever take off the costumes? I mean, that's what I, as a child, grew up feeling, like we're all just always on the stage in our costumes. I'm a good child. That's what I am. I know how to play good child. I've been in that role for years. Don't get your knees dirty. Go to bed early. Don't talk back. Eat all the food in your plate. I know how to do it. I'm really a master at that game. But is there anybody home? Hello, I'm home. Is there anybody home? Sure, have some food. Have some food. If I give you all the external things, I'm a good parent. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. You and I can starve together if we're here and now. If we're not here and now, no matter how much food we put in our bellies, it's never going to be enough. And that's the feeling of Western man. It's not enough. He's got it all going in as fast as he can shovel it. He's got every sensual gratification he could possibly desire, and it's not enough. Because there's no here and nowness about it. Stop on your way home in Haunted Hearts and get a... We are on your way home, the bus trips. Stop and get your dinner ready-made so you can rush through and pass on to the next group. Here and now is the doorway to all that energy. Because if you're truly here and now, there's no you. Because you lives in time. And the minute you are here and now, there's no more you. That's the way it works. You ever go to a movie where you got so caught up in the movie you forgot who you were, and then the lights go on? Where am I? What's going on? What is it? Oh, it's a movie. Oh, wow.
Another question. What should I do when the Hornet Company comes to get you for subversive activity?
Have you been subversive?
Pardon me?
Have you been subversive?
Yes.
Are you advocating the violent overthrow of the United States government by force?
The violent overthrow of the Macaroni Party.
Well, the violent overthrow of the macaroni pudding is one of the dances. It's one of the dances, and they are doing, they came, you said to them, they said, we do the waltz, and you said, I wish you wouldn't do the waltz, I wish you'd do the polka. And they say, no, we do the waltz. And you say, well, I am protesting against waltzes. And they don't dig it because they're seen as waltz. And there's one partner that wants to waltz and one partner that wants to polka. And here we are, and that's drama. That's drama. You do whatever you do as a polka dancer. I don't know, but whoever you do it, don't be it. Because whoever you are, you're right here, and here we are, and we've always been here, and we can watch that dance too. You do the same thing as I do being a holy man. It's the same drama. Drama is drama is drama. Any question you can ask about stuff is more drama. How do I be a mother? How do I serve the government? How do I fight the government? How do I protest? How do I agree? You do it all, and you do it without attachment. It's as simple as that. You do whatever your harmony of the universe dictates. If it dictates you be subversive with Horn and Hearted, then you be subversive with Horn and Hearted. It doesn't make any difference. Now that's a hard one. What do you mean social action doesn't make any difference? If you are not conscious, if you're just caught up being anti-Horn and Hearted, you're just another machine in the illusion. You're just another actor on the stage that doesn't know he's an actor on the stage. And if you know you're an actor on the stage, then you do whatever has to be done. If it is your forces acting upon you so that you must stand against Horn and Hearted, you stand against Horn and Hearted, understanding the implications of your stand and doing what you need to do, but you don't feel anything but great poignancy and compassion for the whole dance. Horn and Hearted's role and your role also. Horn and Hearted's role and your role also. That is the drama, that's the dance of nature. It's hard to extricate oneself from attachment to one's own pet emotional thing. I mean, I went through it last night, like, come on now, I'm a mother. That's a big one, see? I mean, do you mean to say I should be a mother without attachment? Yeah. Exactly. But really dig it. I mean, be essence mother. And be here and now, because whatever you're doing is just more things you're doing. It's just like, my hand is opening and closing. I am protesting Horn and Hearted. I am being a mother. I am giving a lecture. My hand is opening and closing. And here we are. And here we are, and the hand is opening and closing. There's the protest. There's Horn and Hearted. There's the anti-subversion. There's Socrates drinking the hemlock. I mean, Socrates dug it. He said, yeah, man, I broke the rules. I'm going to drink the hemlock. That's the way the game's played. Socrates was a purely conscious being. He didn't suffer. It's like Christ saying, well, tomorrow I'm going to be crucified, fellas. It's the way it is. That's the way this drama works. But he says, oh, Christ suffered. Jesus suffered because that was the Jesus story. Christ doesn't suffer because Christ always is, always has been, and always will be, and that's who you are. You were before Horn and Hearted, you are, and you will be after Horn and Hearted. And you are Horn and Hearted. I can't handle dialogue yet. Sorry. Just be honest about it,
Thank you.
I started this series of evenings. This was a big trip for me. I had been living in the Himalayas in the mountains, and I was living in a cabin in New Hampshire, all by myself, very quiet in the woods, and now I was in the middle of New York City. And I created and became part of these scenes. And the first few nights, many people asked questions and wanted to carry on dialogue, and I realized that the level of mind in New York City was so much that I couldn't handle it. It was just too much. I just kept getting caught in some drama that I couldn't extricate myself from. I wasn't pure enough to ride through it all yet. And so I found that although the ad said in response to questions, the questions had to be my sensing of where people were at and what I could do to help. And now and then I can take a question, but if it gets into a dialogue, I just go into the person's head, and it may take me weeks to get out of it. See, because I'm so open, I hear everything that happens. When I come up on the bus, it may take me a half an hour to work through the bus trip to get back to here and now. Because it's so much stuff, and I'm not yet open enough to pass it all through me. You know, that's the journey. That's the work. That's the work. Now, what are the methods of doing that? The methods are all of the forms of yoga, whichever one works for you. Whichever one works for you. Calming the mind. The breathing exercises. I'm going to do the breathing things again tomorrow night. I've done them once already in these past 3 weeks, but I'm going to do them again because, so if you went on that trip once, you can know not to come. I'm always uncomfortable at repeating stuff, but it's usually useful. Breathing are techniques of opening the nerve channels to purify, to get you calm all day, to cool you out. What you've got to create in yourself is an absolutely calm center. Perfectly calm center. That is always right here and now. That is just a light. That is just isness. Just isness. Running down the street, going upstairs, downstairs, getting into bed, getting into the tub, going to the toilet, eating, talking. Just that isness. Just isness. Always the same isness. Always the same isness. So everybody that makes contact with you doesn't make contact with the guy that's running up the stairs. Not all of the stuff. Always makes contact with that isness. When you meet a being who's centered, you always know it, I'll tell you. You always feel a kind of a calm emanation. It always touches you in a place where you feel calm. But you can't hustle it. You can't make believe you're calm when you're not. You can't come on, realize. It never works. Everybody knows. You know. It's horrible. Horrible. You can only center. Find that place inside yourself. So whatever your dance is, you're doing it from that place. Always right in here. Right in your hridayam. I do a mantra every day. The mantra is Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sarv Shatru Bina Shanam. It's Sanskrit. Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sarv Shatru Bina Shanam. And it means all evil vanishes from life for him who keeps the sun in his heart. And evil means that which keeps man from enlightenment, that which keeps man from consciousness, from waking up. Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sav Shatru Bina Shanam. I've got to find that place in my inner heart where the sun is always shining. And I've got to be very quiet and calm down and listen.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Love Serve Remember Foundation and ramdas.org. We appreciate all the support for the foundation and for Ram Dass's work, and we hope that you will continue that support. You can go to ramdas.org and click on the Donate Now button and follow the prompts. Thank you. This podcast is brought to you by the Love Serve Remember Foundation and ramdas.org. Welcome to Ram Dass Here and Now, and I'm Raghu Marcus. Well, this podcast includes the last part of this very long evening that Ram Dass gave. I think it's in 69. Can you believe that? 1969. I've been pulling a lot of these lectures from the late 60s and hopefully introducing you to Ram Dass after he first got back from India, and he had all of this really wild energy. And it was, I've said this before, it bears repeating, those were the lectures that turned us all on. All of those people that eventually went to India with him the second time. It didn't go with him, but went at the same time. And in this closing piece of this, I think this has been running over the last 3 or 4 podcasts. This is the 4th, I believe, and it's one that really reminded me of something that is so relevant for us today as a group. These people, those of us that went to India, many people. What did you pick up over there? What was it like? What are the practices that you have learned and are using to this day? And I would say for many of us, now not all of us, but many of us, and some of them people that you might know, one of them is Krishna Das, who I've mentioned on this podcast, and I've been sending a song that he did that includes this old rock and roll tune that he kind of turned into a kirtan chant thing as well. It's really cool. And you can write to me at info@ramdas.org or through the comments section here on the podcast, and I will send you an MP3 of the song called Narayana. And Jai Uttal and Shyam Das, those are people that are out on the chanting circuit and have influenced a lot of younger people that are doing it today. But that is a major path for us, chanting, and it has been for all of these years. And on this podcast that Ram Dass does, the lecture that's included in this podcast, his talk, the last, 15, 20 minutes of it, I don't think I included that much in it, but is him doing a chant that he brought back from India that is the most simple chant that anybody can do. It's just Rama, Rama, Rama. And Ra means sun and Ma means earth. And it's the conjunction of the male and female energy, yin yang. He explains this out in the talk, but it really brought me back to those days. God, they were so sweet and simple and a lot of innocence in a way. Just the melody of it, Rama, 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 Rama. I'll never forget first getting to his father's place in New Hampshire where we used to gather. And by the way, there's all great footage of that time that was taken by 2 different filmmakers in the late 60s at Ram Dass's farm. And they are available on ramdas.org in the media library, which is called Bhakti Tube, if you're interested. But I'll never forget just that chant. Talk about enchanting. That chant was so enchanting, so sweet. And the way that he led it, he used to play what's called a tambour, which is a drone instrument, a 4-string drone instrument. God, it was just marvelous to be in that moment when all of this stuff was emerging. Who ever heard? Of course, we did hear the Hare Krishna people, the people from the airport that used to, try and sell you books. we used to go to their center, and I remember this before I met Ram Dass. Because they had great food, great Indian food. So we used to go down there on every Sunday. They would have a feast. And we would hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that is known in India as the great mantra, Maha Mantra. You do that mantra, you don't need to do anything else, they say, which has proven to be true at times, I have found. But so we were introduced to that. And also Allen Ginsberg brought it back. And he had this tiny little broken up kind of harmonium. And Allen used to sing. He was a Buddhist, but he used to, he definitely used to do a lot of chanting. And that's when I remember being introduced. But it was this sweetness that Ram Dass brought back that was really special. And you can hear this on this at the end of this talk. It also reminds me of something else he mentions in the talk, but it reminds me of my personal encounter, my first personal encounter with Ram Dass. It is said that the eyes are the doorway into the light, into the soul. And, whenever you meet up with people, it's hard to get anybody to really, do straight eye contact these days with you, or back then, didn't matter. All of that, people having paranoia and self-worth issues and can't just be in the moment and so on. Well, all of that was happening. I remember for me back then, I don't think I had ever encountered somebody who could just be in the moment and sit there, and there wasn't a lot of, mental juggernauts going on. There was no judging. And, that was my first encounter with Ram Dass, and my first remembrance is kind of two things. It's this chant, this Rama Rama chant, and just looking into those eyes that were full of love, full of acceptance, and really just being here now before there was be here now. And he talks about that in this talk as well, how everyone he encounters, is just an opportunity for him to sit in the one soul. All of this led to eventually talking about sitting in that one soul, of course, getting to India and meeting Neem Karoli Baba, who we called Maharaji, as you know. And there's a nice little mention in here of what the true guru is. I mean, that word is so overused, and it's just now a commonplace noun that really has lost its effective meaning. But I do love how Ram Dass expresses it here. He talks about how a guru is somebody who is a pure mirror. They are pure light. So pure that when you meet that being, you immediately see where you are not, where you're stuck. But then, as quickly as that happens, it all falls away. Now, I remember those, my first meetings, of course, with Maharaji, and I've told those stories in the earlier podcasts here, but it bears, again, something else. It's worth repeating, that sitting in that presence with somebody who is not stuck anywhere, that they are not living in their egos. You absolutely know that. It's not with your head. Now, many of us, and I in particular, I know a lot, I understand a lot, but I am so far intellectually ahead of where I am intuitively, as most of us are. In that moment, though, when you're with a being like this, you absolutely know that there is nothing grabbing. There is no attachment. There's nothing. And in that presence, it is like this really focused mirror that shoots back at you exactly all of the places that you're stuck, all of the places that you're hung up. And I can remember just in the first days, it was just, I couldn't believe being in this light. And it was very blissful, and so much love and so much acceptance that I had never had before, what Ram Dass calls that first meeting and where you get unconditional love. But then after a while of, sort of getting, I wouldn't say getting used to it, but, getting more familiar, and Maharaji became a friend. I mean, he was like, God, the best friend that turned into anything you wanted, the best mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, lover, brother, sister, whatever you wanted, you got. But at the same time, this stuff came up, and it was like ugly and yucky, and oh, God. I remember Krishnadas, who we used to hang out, and we'd go in the back of the ashram and go over. There was a river right next to it with these boulders, and we'd go and just like be grumpy. Can you imagine being grumpy, depressed, and living in the foothills of the Himalayas with a being like this? Well, we were. It was unbelievable. But as quickly as that happened is as quickly as it went away and evaporated, because there just was no judgment from him about who we were not. And it allowed us to become who we are. And that is the grace of having been over there and spending that time with him. So, well, enjoy this, especially this chanting. And for those of you who are interested, boy, I have a wealth of great chanting that is a little different from what you guys hear, except for Krishnadas. He does it a little more traditionally than most people in Jai. But I have some I'm actually putting together a CD. This is a digression, but this might be fun for some people. I'm putting together a CD of recordings that I have made in this particular, where I met Maharaji, in this ashram in the foothills of the Himalayas, and it's of the best melodies of these guys that do this Hare Krishna mantra 24/7 there for like 8 months while the ashram's open. And there's one particular guy that I love, and I call him Stevie Wonder because he's, his sight is very poor, but he also, his gestures, his whole body language is so just so at one with the music, with the mantra, with the emotive expression, the whole 9 yards. It's amazing stuff, and it's so I'll have this thing for everybody to download or do whatever we might even have some CDs. You remember them? CDs. Well, here we go. This is Ram Dass from 1969. I believe it's March in New York City, and it forms it is the end of these lectures that he gave again in that very formative time. Ram Dass, Here and Now.
This morning I had to go at 8 o'clock to lecture at Einstein Hospital, Medical School Hospital, whatever that hospital is, at 9. So that meant I had to get up at a certain point in order to sit down at my puja table and do my breathing and get myself perfectly centered so that I was in this place, so that going to Einstein and doing all that and all the things that happened was all from this place. From Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sav Shatru Binashanam. And I got it going so strongly in me that all the way up over the Triborough Bridge, Aditya Hridayam Punyam, I was talking to people, Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sav Shatru Binashanam. Walked into the hospital through the emergency waiting room, Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sav Shatru Binashanam. Upstairs into the lecture hall, gave the lecture, then there's questions, and an old Viennese psychiatrist, sort of a caricature of himself, I guess, said to me, well, didn't LSD create anxiety in you, and are you married, and what is your sexual history? Aditya Ditya hridayam punyam shatru vinashanam. And I told him every answer to the question. I just laid out my entire sexual history and everything he wanted to know. I mean, he would have dug for years to get all that information. He just got it handed, and I was just a Ditya hridayam punyam shatru vinashanam. Just watching the drama unfold. The poor guy didn't know what to do because there was no he did that like as a, he was very threatened by my presentation. And he did it to do his thing. This was a power move on his part. Sends the knife and you say, Aditya, like, man, it's sun and I am light and you are beautiful. I am a Viennese psychiatrist. You are beautiful. You're Ram, you're God. You're Ram, you're God. You're Ram, you're God. I am Ram, you are Ram, we are God. If I say that to him, I'll be locked up. I don't have to say a word. It's all going on inside me. I know how it is. One of the medical students came up afterwards. He said, oh, boy, just to live in your reality for an hour, wow. Man, now I can take the whole day at the hospital. Why settle for an hour? Come on, let's live here all the time. We'll all move in, right? Here we are. I mean, try to get away from it. That's the funny thing, you see. Once you see everything I'm saying, if you heard what I'm saying tonight, you're hooked. I know it's hard. I know your drama's hard. I know I feel the things that you're still in. I can feel some of them. But still, if you can hear that message, it works on you inside. It works on you inside. I know more than I understand. I am intellectually ahead of where I am intuitively yet. I can say all the things, but I am not yet fully being them. But I can't, inevitably I've got to be them, there's no choice. It's just going to take me over. It's like a big Martian man-eater. It's going to consume me. In pure love, pure light, I'm hooked, completely hooked. Every time it gets dark and cloudy, I just sit down and I look at, somebody or other, whoever it is, around. I look into their eyes, and everybody's eyes are the same place, you see, that's the other thing. Everybody's eyes are that doorway through the light. But everybody's busy looking like, well, this is my problem. And I just sit there looking at them like that, and they, and it's really terribly hard. Well, I mean to say... And then here we are. The eyes of the cool, calm center, that's where the light comes through. The windows of the soul, that's literally what they are. That's not just poetry, that's straight. That's what they are, the windows of the soul. And if I am a Ditya hridayam punyam sav shatru bina shanam, the sun is just coming right out of those eyes, and man, anybody that looks at them just can't stay hung up. Because all I have is compassion, and it's all poignant, and I see how it all is. Sure. Have it all. Go ahead. Have it all. And when you get pure enough, that's what a guru is. You dig what a guru is. It's not just a high-class teacher. It's not just an Eastern word for teacher. It's somebody who is pure mirror, pure light. So pure that when you meet that person, you immediately see where you're not. And it all falls away. That's the way it works with guru. With guruness. With guruness. Being the total manifestation of God in human form, he's like a gauge against which man can measure what he is and what he may become. He trues the standard of human values by interpreting them in terms of divinely human life. He is interested in everything but not concerned with anything. The slightest mishap may command his sympathy. The greatest tragedy will not upset him. He is beyond the alternations of pain and pleasure, desires and satisfaction, rest and struggle, life and death. To him they are equally illusions which he has transcended, but by which others are bound and from which he has come to freedom. He uses every circumstance as a means to lead others towards realization. He knows that men do not cease to exist when they die, and therefore he is not concerned over death. He knows that destruction must precede construction, and that out of suffering is born peace and bliss, that out of struggle comes liberation from the bonds of action. He is only concerned about concern. In those who contact him, he awakens a love that consumes all selfish desires in the flame of the one desire to serve him. Those who consecrate their lives to him gradually become identified with him in consciousness. Little by little, their humanity is absorbed into his divinity, and they become free. Dasoham, I am servant. I want nothing but to serve my Guru. And the Guru is Christ, and the Guru is Buddha, and the Guru is Guru Rinpoche, and the Guru is every realized being that ever existed, whether he's in his physical form or not. Very simple trip. Just finish your ego trip. Let it fall away. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. But like a snake molting its skin, plant the seed of the possibility and it'll all happen. Can't help but happen. Can't help it happen. This is the time for us to sense the light. And that we are here together, and whether you can hear this or not, this is all karmically determined. It's all happening anyway. So all you can do is look on with awe. Look on with awe as it all happens. You can't choose to go backwards. There is only one direction all man moves in, and that is towards consciousness. Strangely enough, bizarre though it may seem when you look at the whole scene, that's really what's happening. And we are just as inevitably propelled on as moths towards a flame. Moths towards a flame. We conclude these evenings. In closing, we will have hymn number. I'm just a frustrated rabbi. That Judaism is primarily a folk religion. That's why I can't yet go with it all the way, except for the Hasidic part of it. See, in all of the religions, there is all of this stuff that I just told you. All of it. But often it's like it gets in the way, man. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. A very beautiful nun came to visit me, and she said, when I was 18 years old, I had a mystical experience. I saw the divine plan. And I wondered, what do I do with my life? And I thought, well, I'll become a nun. That's what to do when you have a vision. She says, for 15 years, they've done nothing but try to make me say, well, that was ego. You can do best by just doing the rituals. Well, every one of us is the divine being. Realization is right now. This is enlightenment. This is it. Nature and enlightenment are one. Sanskara and nirvana are one. This is all there is, and this is the whole works, and this is it, and this is more than that. More than that. More than that. And once you see how it is, you go into a church and everybody's sitting there all turned off saying the words, and you read the words and they blow your mind. Wow. It's the Spirit. And the Spirit descended into them. The Spirit came down like a dove, descended, and it entered into them. That's what we're about. We're about remembering. That's what the seed implantation is. If you're too scientific, it doesn't turn you on to talk about spirit because you've had a bummer with religion. You've had a bad trip. It's been a hustle. But it was all about spirit at one point. That was the institution that was to keep man conscious. Well, the institution is your own temple. The institution is your own temple. Madame Blavatsky, who started the Theosophical Society, writes, "Have patience, candidate, as one who fears no failure, courts no success. Fears no failure, courts no success. Fix thy soul's gaze upon the star whose ray thou art, the flaming star that shines within the lightless depths of ever being. Fix your gaze upon that place inside yourself. To him that hath shall be given." Once you've seen the possibility, to him that hath seen the possibility, it shall be given. That's what that means. Doesn't mean that if you've got a Cadillac, you're going to get another Cadillac. To him that hath seen how it is, it shall be given. We close these evenings with the singing of bhajan. Bhajan is a form of yoga. It is a form of repetition of the name of holy beings. It's a technique of getting outside of your ego by just letting the sound happen. There's no rewards. You can't sing pretty in bhajan. There's no pretty singing. Nobody's listening. If you sing with your heart, finally you are become one with that to which you're singing. We are singing to Ram. We're singing to Ram. After we sing to Ram, and it'll be end when it ends, then there is silence. As the harmony of your many forces acting on you dictate from this moment on, the body moves out into the street and on into further parts of the drama. Seeing in all of it the divinity. Seeing in all of it the life, by being the life. A peaceful man lives in a peaceful universe. A being whose lives in the sun inside, lives in the sun outside. Simple as that. Get straight inside, it all happens outside. You want it to be beautiful outside, make it beautiful inside. Very simple rule of the game. Very simple rule of the game. Your going out and returning is nowhere but where you are. In India, when we meet one another, whoever we may be, even though we may have forgotten why we're doing it, we do it, and now and then there is a little bit of light cast by it. It's more of the where everything is designed to help. That when we meet or part from people, we remind each other who we really are. By the word that means, I honor that which is the Atman, or the pure light, or the essence, or here and nowness, or Buddha consciousness, or Christ consciousness, or however you want to label it, within you. Everybody's got it. We are all it. I honor that in you. I'm reminding you of who you really are. The word is namaste, namaste, and therefore before we start the bhajan, may I say to all of you, namaste. Tonight we're going to do a bhajan which uses only one word, Rama. Rama. Rama is the name of an incarnation of God. Rama is the God of the Sun Kingdom. He's all and everything. He's pure light. He resides in your heart, in your hridayam. Ra, sun, ma, earth. The conjunction of male and female, all the union, the yin-yang, Rama, 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 Rama. I will give you the melody, and as you feel in tune with the melody, if you feel like making sound, make it. If it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.